Since Trump's immigration crackdown got started, federal agents have opened fire on civilians 16 times, resulting in the death of 4 people. That's according to data from Trace. Now, the Trump administration is arguing that its officers have absolute immunity when they commit these acts of violence.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the MeidasTouch Network. The Vice President of the United States, JD Vance, actually used that phrase, absolute immunity, to describe wrongly the protections afforded to federal agents like the one who killed Renee Good. Here he is.
The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job.
JD Vance knows better. We went to the same law school, had many of the same professors. He knows better. But I don't want to make this just about him, because it is much bigger than that. The Trump regime is creating an unaccountable, unidentifiable regime protection force. That's what ICE is becoming. It's rejecting oversight attempts by members of Congress. I was in Minneapolis a few days ago when 3 members of Congress were refused entry into the federal building there, which is illegal. And ICE is regularly sending people into the field who are woefully unequipped or mentally unprepared to carry out law enforcement actions. And when they do break the law, the federal government conspires in the cover-up. I wanted to talk to someone who knows a lot about law enforcement training and tactics and investigations. Brett Jones is a former Navy SEAL who left the teams to join the CIA and then became a police officer in Alabama. He has served on the front lines as an elite member of the military and a cop, and he's also trained police officers. Brett is also running for local sheriff as a Democrat. I guarantee you're going to appreciate Brett's perspective on all this. Here's me and Brett Jones. Brett, it's good to see you again. Been a while since we checked in. I think our last video broke 1.5 million views. That's credit to you, not me.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. I reached out to you for a couple of reasons. One, you're running for sheriff. Thank God. We got a Dem with a Navy SEAL, ex-CIA background running for sheriff in Alabama. I don't get to say this often, but I spent my formative years in Alabama, graduated from Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery. But 2, you're LEO, you're a law enforcement officer. You've looked at the tapes we all have of Renee Good shooting. Look, I don't want you to be judge and jury here, but I would love your perspective as a law enforcement officer on the tactics of the ICE agent who shot Renee Good and what you saw as it relates to his training or lack thereof, and certainly his practice of it as he walked in front of that car.
So here's the thing is I don't know because I wasn't trained by immigration or ICE. So I don't know exactly what their tactics are. But the thing that really, when I watch those videos, that kind of shocks me is how he ended up walking around the vehicle towards the front of the car. And I can tell you from any law enforcement class that I've been through, that the front of vehicles kill officers. And that's why they're, any of the trainings, like stay away from the front of a vehicle. So that surprised me that he ended up in front of the vehicle. And why he was, filming with his phone going around, I don't know what that was all about. Normally, police officers have body cams. And so that keeps your hands free so that you're able to deal with potential problems with both of your hands and not just one. So there's a lot of questions into the totality of the circumstance that ended up leading to Renee's Good's passing or death. And that's why the investigation into this is so important. I think that whenever a situation like this happens, it's, we get angry, and it's really important that investigators are able to do their job because it paints a much bigger picture of what happens, because ultimately evidence is what's going to tell the story.
What do you make of the fact then that the FBI has frozen out local and state investigators, that they have not only taken over the investigation, but refused to share evidence. That's pretty alarming.
Yeah, it's great. It's very, it's a quagmire. It's a big political nasty mess right now. And it's unfortunate because, I believe that, Renee Good's family deserves a proper investigation into this, as well as, the agent involved. Like both parties deserve to have a thorough investigation into it, and we all know why the federal government is not allowing that, is to keep evidence from the state, because murder is a state crime.
Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. And this one really hits home for me. I have an active online presence, and I spend a lot of time reporting on politics, national security, and extremism. That means I've seen firsthand how easy it is for bad actors to dig up personal information, addresses, phone numbers, family connections, and weaponize it. If you have never been doxxed or harassed, you probably know someone who has. I've had friends and colleagues targeted simply for speaking up, and I've reported from places where the consequences of surveillance are very real. The idea that your private life is just sitting out there waiting to be exploited should concern all of us, not just people in the public eye. It's easier than ever to find personal information about people online, and when that data falls into the wrong hands, it can spill straight into the real world. That's where Delete Me comes in. They help protect your personal privacy or the privacy of your business by removing your data from the sites that buy, sell, and trade it before it can be used against you. Delete Me is also the New York Times Wirecutter's top pick for data removal services, which gave me even more confidence in using them. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Ken and use promo code Ken at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/Ken and enter code Ken at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/Ken, code Ken. It's Ken Harbaugh with a quick break to tell you about something new coming to the MeidasTouch network. Midas Defense, serious coverage of the military, national security, and real threats at home and abroad. No spin, no talking points, just expert voices and on-the-ground reporting. Check out Midas Defense, coming soon to the MeidasTouch network. Well, you're one of the good guys. You give law enforcement a good name, and I think this has got to be really hard for the guys like you on the line, like there to serve and protect when you see something like this, especially when you see the abandonment, as it appears to me, of the duty to care. I mean, I've got LEO in my family. When there's an officer involved shooting, the reaction is almost always like horror. I've seen guys drop to their knees. They are so upset at what they've done. But watching what unfolded in the aftermath of this, with the refusal to allow a physician to access Renee, with the involved officer walking away casually after calling her what he called her. I'm not going to repeat it here. Can you talk about how the officers you work with behave in a situation when someone's hurt, even if it's someone who they had a negative interaction with? This isn't normal, is it?
I think whenever you're talking about any sort of incident like this, I think the culture of policing is to save lives and protect people's property, right? Like at the end of the day, the big mission is save lives, protect people's property, right, and their things, yeah, I have a million questions. I mean, I've watched the same video that everyone else has, and I got an emotional response to the video, just like everybody else has gotten. And I can tell you, as somebody that has been through the Investigator Academy, it's important that those emotions are put aside and let the investigators do their job, because that's where the truth comes out. That's where the big picture comes into play. There's ballistics, there's eyewitness, there's vehicle data, there's the forensic study of the victim. There's a lot, right? There's a lot of things that goes into that, and I think jumping to a conclusion off of 10 seconds of video from 3 different videos is not allowing justice to do its job. And you just have to be patient, because these things don't just happen overnight. It takes time.
Just clarify this for me, though. When it comes to duty of care, if someone is hurt, your instinct is to run to their side, not to run away.
Yeah, for sure. If there's, and in fact, anytime that there's any sort of use of force, it is the responsibility to get medical attention to that individual, for sure, if it's needed.
Yeah, I hear you on having to check emotions that run high in the immediate aftermath of something like this. And bearing that in mind, can you weigh in on the responsibility of leadership? We had the Secretary of Homeland Security describe the victim as a domestic terrorist. We had the president himself say that, I have the quote in front of me, she behaved horribly and then she ran him over. She didn't try to run him over, she ran him over. What is the responsibility of leadership in moments like this to either take a breath if you don't know the truth, or at least not inflame tensions by lying?
I think good leaders would understand the amount of diplomacy that needed to be involved in a situation like this, and allowing the investigators, who is their job to find out the full story, and labeling people things is without a thorough investigation is careless. I think it's careless for the people involved.
Tell us about your race. Where are you running? What are the stakes? And what's it like to be running for sheriff in Alabama as a Democrat?
It's it's really good. Like I live in an awesome county, Madison County, and I live actually right downtown Huntsville. And these people are amazing. I've been a cop here for, and I've also had a security firm, and I've been in public safety my whole life. And protecting people has been something I've done as a Navy SEAL, as I did with the CIA, and what I do as a police officer. And I just view this as an extension of that. We have, like, just talking about what we've talked about so far, there's a culture of policing that has this very negative thing. And I've spent my nights, thinking about what I can do as a sheriff to help turn that culture into what it should be. And a culture of saving lives and changing lives and protecting people and their things, and and how to do that in a way that's really going to help the people of my county. And I'm really looking forward to doing that.
Where can people learn more about your race, and how can they help?
Well, you can go to votebrettjones.com, and there's information there. And if people want to volunteer, we'd love to get volunteers. And if people want to donate to the cause, we absolutely like that too. And you can do that all at the website there. We have a big fundraiser coming up. It's like my birthday's on February 5th. And so we're having our big sort of launch party and all that on February 5th, downtown here in Huntsville, and there you can sign up for that too.
I got to ask, as someone who knows Alabama, what it's like for you as a Navy SEAL, ex-CIA. You were Directorate of Operations. I mean, you were You
I was in the CIA as what they called a GRS agent, or I was part of their global response staff.
Got it. All right. So you're a CIA badass after you were a Navy SEAL badass. When you're talking to constituents, are they shocked that you're a Democrat?
I think I think what's really surprising about the county that I live in is it's like 44% Democrat. It's big. Like Alabama, Madison County is a very progressive part of the state, and there's lots of really amazing things happening here. We've got the one of the largest research areas in the state. We have the arsenal, so there's a big military presence out here. We've got Space Force coming here. We've got the FBI coming here. We've got some fascinating companies that are on the edge of biological or biotech and all that. It's an amazing place to live, and the people have been absolutely open to myself and my husband and our family here. So I'm very grateful to live here.
Awesome. We'll put the links in the show notes below. Brett, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ken. I really appreciate it.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.